So welcome everybody. Welcome to our Dance Journeys podcast. My name is Pirita and I have amazing Saara here joining me for today. This is the 13th of already our episode, so exciting to continue our chat and a little bit see further and letting everybody to know Saara's amazing journey with dance. I'm excited to have that chat and sharing that for you all. So can you just say a few words a little bit about yourself, Saara, where you're from and what you do for work, just that we get a little bit, that everybody gets a little bit sense. Who is Saara?
Hey, Saara. I'm from Kuusankoski, Finland, and I've been living the past 6.5 years in Glasgow in Scotland. And I do social care work that is sometimes fun and sometimes exhausting and everything in between. And my dance journey has started at early age, before school age, and it's been on and off and so on until now.
So when you kind of started your dancing in a young age, do you remember when did you have your first ever dance class? Do you remember what age were you and what class was it?
I started Tanhu folk dances, Finnish folk dances at quite young. I don't remember it so well because I was really quite young. But I started classical ballet training at 6 years old. So I remember that. I danced for about 6 years, classical ballet. And then it kind of started spiraling from there to different styles and going to different courses and trying different stuff. But yeah, that was the kind of first things were just kind of probably 5, 6, something like that.
Great. Yeah, and I can so resonate because my background is also in Finnish folk dance. So yeah, amazing. Well, and from there on, what all the dance styles, what have you been doing? If we get a little bit of a sense of what kind of movement have you been doing, what kind of styles you have been doing, and what kind of styles has been resonating more throughout this journey, and what you have maybe tried but they kind of put on the side.
Well, obviously that would have a big influence on how I hold myself and use my body, because I have that ballet training for from young age and for quite a long time, systematically and very punctual training and all that. But then I've been when I've been older and living in different cities and throughout school and studying, I've been in a local gymnastics group, and then I'm trying to translate the kind of local, when there's dance and sport classes and stuff like that. So they've been a little bit that we've been doing our own choreographies, pop songs and stuff like that, and then the kind of exercise classes that are more in the dance, or there's the music element, sort of aerobics, that kind of stuff. So it's been going on there along, and sometimes I really enjoyed when there was some sort of theme exercise that now this is with Latin music, or this is a Bollywood sports, and so I've tried different styles and along the way. But then I went for a course, something a semester in the fall, and a semester I think it's kind of something fall high school, sort of general education courses. And I went to this Cuban salsa class. I'm thinking that I must have been something 15, 16 or something like that, and there was a Cuban teacher, and I really, that was I did a little bit some ballroom classes, some sort of little bit this and that, but the kind of Latin music and the dances, that was kind of fascinating to me, and music and the kind of rhythms. So that got to me quite early on as and still like kind of salsa music and that kind of thing. So that started fairly early. Yeah.
Amazing.
And then it's been like, my personal music taste is maybe more like kind of street hip hop, but I haven't been much on that kind of courses, to be honest. A little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, amazing. So a lot on different dance worlds, which I kind of call them as well. Great. And if anybody's there also listening on live, please feel free to put any kind of questions or anything that resonates for you, put it there on the chat. I will keep my eye on the chat as well. So you're welcome to join in there and ask questions as well. But yeah, it's what kind of also kind of resonated for me, what you were saying, which I also kind of reminded myself on, like how amazing that in Finland, especially, well, that's mostly what I know as a Finnish person as well, of doing the education in here, is that even though the dance is not kind of part of our schedule, so to speak, in our Finnish education, but still the dance is quite a big part. And I think in nowadays, I think even more there is students who have that chance to also try those dance styles in school as well, which is amazing. That I believe dance should be in every education system, should be part of what people learn. So yeah, fantastic that you have also had that chance of trying something in your school time and inside the school education in a way, and then kind of finding more what did you love about, like kind of finding that Latin world in a way on that. So yeah, fantastic. And yeah, hopefully more and more we could keep this conversation going to education system in every country and have dance really part of it, because I think, and especially thinking of having dances from other cultures and kind of different styles, so that people could honestly have a chance to try them. Fantastic. Well, what do you remember then that you kind of been doing dances when you were younger? What was the point that the dance were kind of getting away from your life? What kind of moments? Because you said you've been kind of on off with dancing. So do you remember those moments when it just wasn't possible, and why it wasn't possible?
I think it hasn't been like off completely somewhere. I have moved houses a lot. I have been moving to different cities, right, from schooling and studying, and then after that, I sometimes try to count at how many addresses I lived within a 10-year period of my early adulthood, and I lived a year at the most in one address. So there's been a lot for like a long time moving around. I used to be like that. I try to find something like an exercise and something like that. So I usually just like wherever I move, I join the local gymnastic society, like nice boy
Yep.
like some who would offer some courses like that. Oh, there's like these classes and stuff, or getting like the kind of like the courses. I wouldn't know how it should translate the kind of content of it, stuff, but like
It's like community
kind of community centered, yeah. And there's different courses and stuff. So I've been always like there's been like courses. Usually I would just try those communities wherever I go, and then I moved. I was a little bit longer time in one city when I was kind of when I was just about to graduate, but I already got a job. Then I moved to another place, and there was like not 5-minute walk from my house. There was this Latin dance school, and it was amazing because that was just so good. I was like, okay, well, and there, this was like 10 years ago-ish, and there was more like, okay, there's teachers from around the world, and there was reggaeton, and there was, so then it went more into more different directions, and I had opportunities to try different classes and stuff. So like then there was like another kind of more peak, but it's usually been more about that I've been moving around to another place, and it takes time to kind of settle if it was for work and like apartments and where you live, and okay, strange city, what's on offer, and that. So that's maybe been like why there's been like pauses and stuff.
Yeah.
And more recently, when I moved completely like out from Finland and abroad, well, actually, when I first moved abroad, I was studying, and I was also studying dance in a dance course in a university where I went to exchange student.
Okay.
So it's kind of started there, and then I did move to Scotland some years after I've been there on exchange, and just it took me a while when I moved. And then like the work situations, I was working in shifts as well, like for a long time. And so the kind of scheduling and energy, like dance classes tends to be on evenings, and I could be usually at work. And then it's sort of like if it's in another side of the city or something. So it took me a little while to, like when I moved abroad, to find dance classes or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And how long have you now been living in Scotland?
6 years March, so about over 6 years.
Great. Nice. Well, now, of course, it's been like this whole podcast there started during the time of pandemic, and been asking this question from everybody. How did you notice, how did your dancing or training changed through this pandemic? So, of course, we're kind of getting out from the pandemic slowly, but how do you now see kind of these periods that has happened? How did your dance change when the pandemic started, and how it was during, and how you feel it's now? Do you see that, what kind of stages it went now?
Yeah, well, that was just only like as I changed jobs in 2019 from the start. So I started like a day job. And that was when I was like, okay, now I'm on a day job. Now I can actually have hobbies in the evening. So I started scouting different opportunities in Glasgow, and where would I get like traveling easily enough. And I was just getting the kind of hang of it during 2019 when I started this day job. And I was like, okay, I can like little tried this and that. And I was just getting like, I got some like early, was either late 2019 or early 2020 when the pandemic really kind of started hitting, especially in UK. That was pretty much March.
Yeah.
And then things started to go how they did go. So I just kind of had my rhythm. I just found like a couple of places that, okay, this could be nice, and like, okay, gonna try that one and get a little five-time pass over there, and just like more getting into it.
Yep.
And then it was suddenly everything was closed and everything stopped. And I was just gutted because I just got like the kind of joy back that, okay, I'm getting into it again. I'm really enjoying it. Must have been 2019 when I've been to Pirita some workshop in Glasgow, Dance Glasgow, and something like that. And I'm like, oh, this is excellent. Like, yes, like that's for me now. And I was like going to other classes there as well. And I remember that I had I just bought some sort of like temporary membership or something like that. And then everything started being cancelling. So that was such a shame, because I just got back in again after like a longer pause.
Yeah.
Longest maybe than I've had before, that I haven't been doing any kind of dancing. I've been to some gym kind of dance-ish classes, but it's not really the same.
Yeah.
So that's how I found the kind of online thing, and then I just took that leap of faith, and I'm still grateful that I did. Because I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't been given it a chance. The online training at home, and especially like the kind of recorded classes and stuff that I can then fit into my own schedule. And it was hard at first and strange and weird, but then it just, I don't know, you were just home all the time and like everybody. So, so it did change because you didn't have the physical surroundings and the context of going, leaving your house, getting ready for that dance class, going somewhere, being instructed and guided through the dance. So it was very different, and I've been kind of skeptical about, and I don't like being in front of a computer screen or anything like that very much. But then, and then we practice. We practice when I was in the pilot kind of group with them. So like, yeah, we all learned along the way, I think. And I found my group and like our little online dance community, and just like hearing other people's experiencing just similar things and the kind of same struggles and stuff. But then also kind of had to learn to like not teach myself, but teach myself how to learn from like online, like not being physically in the dance studio when a teacher can like physically align your leg somehow, or like that, just learning all the technique and the technical stuff that's with the online training. So it's definitely changed. I guess now when we're saying that things are getting back to normal, that I've been a couple of times to kind of live sessions, but it's still a bit changing, I think.
Well, like you said, like I think so many people that I had the conversations, and like I said this before as well, like I have been exactly the same, that I haven't never been a big fan of doing things in online. But yeah, finding the way that it works best for me, and finding what's the best way for me to use this tool, how it can serve me the best. And when you kind of find that, everything starts to click. And now it's more of finding how it is now, then when there is more things happening, how to kind of do both, and how they can now support everybody's training. I think it's interesting. Well, now that you kind of started to have already that habit before pandemic, and now it's a different habit, what do you think it's been now the best of kind of learning, forcing yourself almost, learning this online platform, which I sometimes say that I had to learn. It's like forced learning of this new habit or new tool. But what do you think it's been now, if thinking of everything is kind of opening up more and more, there's more things happening, what do you think you will kind of take with you from this kind of online experience and training from online? What would be your kind of dream scenario, thinking of your dancing now?
Well, I think it is the quite obvious benefit of the online, and like especially like that I've been doing like from recordings, not maybe online live classes, is the scheduling and the like that, okay, now I have a day off, or now would be a good time to do something. So it's like, whatever you need to do, quick wardrobe change or something, and then just like go clickety click and I'm gonna do this class or something. Just the kind of freedom of that. And then that if you do, like now I've learned that I have found at home like the kind of good space and how the room works, that I can physically do stuff in it, and it's not like difficult to go quite quickly into it. Whether it's that if I need to go to a dance class in the evening after work, I need to travel from work home, shower, do whatever, and then like maybe travel. It might take me a couple of hours before I'm there, and then I have to be there at a specific time for like a class. And in sometimes it works, and then like there might be something that there's a good class like later in the evening, so you have enough time between your like for your own personal life and work life and stuff. But then like I've been enjoying then going to sort of live with them. There's other people, and there's like a different sound system and all that. It's like brings that different kind of feel to it. But I don't see like why it couldn't go hand in hand. And obviously, like if I would be learning something completely new or something like a very difficult style for me, that would be like maybe beneficial to get like the kind of face-to-face teaching training. But for example, then you could have still like some exercises and things around your dance training that you can do at your own pace, at your own home, either online platforms or like recordings, because you've already learned how to do that, that it works for yourself.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, of taking the advantage of both and what the best is for you to work. And it's just like, well, but we both are now, like, we both live in Scotland, but we both are now at the moment in Finland, enjoying the Finnish summer at the moment, which is amazing. But it's the same that, again, I am still teaching throughout the whole summer, but it's like, I've been teaching now in South Africa, I've been teaching now and still running my classes wherever I am, which I think that's the best thing forever is this from online systems, is that yeah, we still can keep on training wherever we are. Like you have been continuing dancing on those times as well that you've been in Finland and also on your holidays, which has been always, I love seeing and hearing about those experiences.
Yeah, and it's with like that. I'm literally in the forest just now, so I'm still online. I can do this. I remember that I've been doing in a kind of cabin kitchen with like woolly socks, some dance classes just from my little phone screen if I don't have anything else, and then just still finding those. And then like keeping contact now, like that's been a growing thing as well. The community and our group that have been on these kind of journeys together now for quite a long time. If you think that you have a hobby or your course, you maybe do a workshop that's a day or a weekend, that's it, or a short course or something, or even like semester, and then that's it, and then you never see those people, and then you maybe leave it at that. But now we've been with the same people on these journeys together, and also like keeping contact. That was like lovely to know and see people having midsummer and all that, and putting little messages and photos and stuff, that enjoying themselves, just like still keeping contact. That I think that that's maybe been something that Pirita, you kind of like got me, that like even if you're on holiday, it doesn't mean that everything gets shut off and everything just like, it's nice to take off physically and like mentally a time off from certain things, but that has definitely changed for me a little bit, because I've been also spending like longer time away from my home kitchen dance studio. So I've just, okay, now I'm in a different place, I can still do it, just make it work somehow.
Yeah. And and I truly believe it's the community. It's a big thing. Do you feel like you're part of some community, and that kind of, if you have that feeling like you are, that kind of motivates a lot. But it helps a lot on that, not just motivation, but feeling like you're part of something, and that you seeing that the dancing is going. Everybody else are doing their similar things, but in different places at different times. But you're still doing the same things. I think that kind of, many people don't maybe always realize like that is possible in online world as well. If the teacher or the school, whoever is running them, have they build that, and I try to building out for us that, because I feel like it's a really huge part why I dance as well, that there is that community around it, similar like-minded people. Do you now on having this online community and finding it online dance world, what else do you think, what's been kind of the things that motivate you with your dance training?
Yeah, definitely the group and the kind of community support. and that you share your experiences. I think it's like it's been especially nice that when you are kind of alone with your thoughts, because you're maybe training home alone. The physically training is like that you do by yourself, and then you maybe are struggling with something, you have some sort of mental or physical block, and you can share it with someone, and you can get advice or support or some suggestions or like some encouragement or something like that. That I think it's really helps, just like that you are thinking that you're just alone with your struggles in your head, but then there might be someone who feels exactly the same, or you think that like, you wouldn't understand that how I'm struggling with this, and somebody says that, hey, actually I have exactly the same thing, and what helped me was this, or have you tried that? So it's definitely like a big thing, and then it does like that, putting those little messages on the group, or some like sharing some thoughts, or some media like pictures or something, that it's connecting in a way that, like that if I've been going to like dance classes or something, it's not like I've been necessarily being like friends with the same people. I might be like that, hi, nice to see you again in a class, but you're not the same way connected, like in my experience have been now during the pandemic. Like that it's like more friendship like relationships than if you would go somewhere like in a class and then you go home and there's the kind of more block. And because I think it's the sort of home and other world has been quite blurry during the pandemic. Lots of people have been working from home and doing stuff at home that they used to do somewhere else, like going to dance classes or something. So it is kind of like merged and blurred in a way that it feels like different. Yeah, so like with the people, so I definitely feel like connected and like supported with that in a different way. And like that before, like I was saying that I was living in this one city where there was this nice dance school, and they were doing like events and stuff like outside the studio somewhere in the local community. I took part some in some of those events, and it was like nice, but it's always like it's up to the people who arrange that, if they bother, if they want to, or if they just want to keep like the dance class happens here and then everything's closed outside that. It depends on the people who arrange those things, and I know it doesn't happen in every place, but like that, for example, that school did do events and stuff more like a community things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Amazing. And when I was kind of asking from you of what's the things that you would be kind of putting in few words about your dance journey and what you kind of went through as well, and the one thing that kind of my eyes got in there was the thing that you were talking about, like being okay, that not always having the same kind of intensity in your training or same energy levels. What do you think? What have you been learned from that for yourself? What was the biggest challenge from that? If you can explain for others, what do you mean by it?
Yeah, well, in all things in life, I think it's a good sentence to like that. It's okay not to be okay. Goes for a lot of things, and yeah, just because there's been like these pauses, and then like life happens, and there's all kind of like there might be like somebody might have like an accident, like that you have physically something that you hurt yourself, or you're like sick for a long time and you're not quite 100% physically okay, or then something else happens in your life that you are not mentally and like spiritually or however like not 100% okay. And just like that I've been having a bit of like both during these journeys past few years. And like that's what I was like trying to like summarize that. And I was talking with one of the group that sometimes you feel like that your head is quite not quite in the game, but you're physically okay, and sometimes it's other way around. But then I've been in situations when I feel like both of these things, that both my body and my mind are just not ready, not okay to do dancing. And then just kind of like, instead of being just like frozen by it, that this is now bad, or like that there's the guilt, or like you're blaming something or yourself or something outside of you about that, like I can't do this because of whatever, and then you feel bad about it. But I've been like trying to be that it's okay, it's like, who is it, like is it away from somebody if I don't dance every week, or if I'm having a bad time, and like that, even if I try this or that, it's just like, okay, not now. Yeah, it's just sort of like that I've been trying to learning that it's okay just not to be okay all the time, and like, okay, I can have a little quieter time now, and then like, the time will come, or like try something else, or that maybe there's another like this time on my timeline of my life that, okay, like now it's something else and it might change. But just kind of more accepting it and being more merciful and like forgiving to yourself, that like I'm quite like that I would like to kind of be on top of my game, and I like to be like that everything is going just exactly as I want them to go, and that I'm able to do this. Like, why I'm not able to do this, if I have some sort of physical or mental block, then it's not going to happen. But it's okay, you'll get there eventually. That kind of thing that I have to like learn during this past couple of years, that it's like just being a bit more forgiving for myself, and just like kind of listening to your mind and body as well. Not like you can be short term, like today, or like that, okay, now I need to, there's something going on in your life, you need to focus there now, and it's okay that something else is leaving on the background for now, like a little bit like back burner there. And like that's like in everything in life, that sometimes you go with, at least for me, I don't know if it's some sort of phase or age or whatever is causing it, that especially with kind of more creative stuff, that I've been going through phases that I do a lot more creative things and art and stuff, or some other hobby that I have, and then it goes a long time that I don't. But it's not that if you stop it doing it now, you can never go back. And now that's it. So, it's not like you're shutting the door for the opportunity. You're just like, well, the door's there when I need to go there or want to go there, or, like that's kind of like my thinking, that, okay, some things I've been doing in the past couple of years more, like that's been part of my life before, some things less. And, things change. So that's maybe the kind of like I've been sometimes difficult to accept, that, okay, I'm not fit now to do this, like this dance training or something like that. But then, trying to accept it and be a bit more like that, okay, this is now the situation, trying to accept it and move on, and look back when you can.
Yeah. And it is a little bit of what we've been talking for a few others, that I think in so much of our heads, especially if dance has been a hobby, and how you have done it before has been that you go to the dance class once a week, and it's kind of that kind of habit of staying in your mind, like, okay, I can say that I have done it if I have done it at least 1 hour in a week. But it's not really that 1 hour. Like, nobody's not looking what's that 1 hour is not telling anybody to anything what you really have got from yourself. It might be the 10 minutes might have been even better than the 1 hour if our body and mind is not in there. So definitely on what we've been talking a lot in the course as well, is just to find how the dance can give back all the time and not just take, and how those moments of when the body is not okay, or the mind, or they're both, what's then the help that the movement can give for you to support you, so that it's not like, okay, I can't do it now the fully how I wanted to be doing it, how I wanted it to go. It can't go that way. I'm not doing it at all. But finding, like you were saying, it's like not saying the shutting the door for it, because I think so much of what I've been discussing a lot with especially adults is like, okay, I can't do it now once a full class a week or twice a week. I'm going to do it when I have more time, or I'm going to do it after that, or I'm going to do it after that. But yeah, life takes us these curveballs, and there's another surprise behind the door when we open it. So yeah, it's just like you said, it's just finding the way and accepting. I think it's more accepting, like I don't maybe have the same energy now, but I'm gonna do something differently with this one today. What my mind might need, what my body needs. Like I keep saying, of asking this question from yourself. So for like, what do I feel like my body needs from today? And then asking a question of, okay, what do I think my mind needs? And if the body is just like, oh, I just want to lay down and just be in the sun, or then your mind is like, oh, I might need a little bit something of just shaking, kind of trying to, which is the beauty of then doing it online, or that because you can put it those packaged together what you honestly need. I mean, it might be that it's this 30 minutes of little mixture of so many different things, but the beauty is that, you know, online you can do it. But I definitely understand that how hard it is to firstly just accept that, okay, I don't have the same energy, but I will figure it out. How can I do this? Yeah. Because yeah, it's frustrating as well. Yeah. But amazing. It sounds like you have been accepting that for yourself more, and I can see it. I know after working with you a long time already, it's going to be now 2 years in August, so I can definitely say that you have been accepting a lot in a different way of dancing and doing and seeing your own movement and seeing your body in a movement on different stages, which is, it's a huge step to anyone to take, and I know it. So it's been wonderful to see that journey with you. Well, what do you would say now? I'm kind of, we almost ending our chat for this one. If there's any other questions, please feel free to pop them on the chat. But what would you say to people who might have had a similar kind of background as you, of having a little bit of work that is sometimes scheduling wise hard to find the dance things, and been moving a lot? You've been kind of explaining about those challenges, what you might have found through this dance journey. What would you say for those people who are listening to now? Like, what would you recommend?
Yeah, like you said, that I just like wanted to like share like that, okay, that I've had some struggles, because like people usually just keep them to themselves and don't think that there's anyone could help, or like that it would help anyway to share them. So that's why I've been wanting to share that, you know, had some struggles and like challenges and hard times and like that. But I think that's just the kind of, because I've been there so many times myself, that I just want to do exactly what we were talking about, like just like shut the door, or like give up, like that, okay, I can't now, so like just, and then quit. And even I have like so much struggles and so many like different things, that like first I'm sick, or then there's something like happening in life, or something that just makes you just want to like forget all about it. But then it's not really, I don't know if that's, doesn't always have to be like very goal orientated and going forward and having like the sort of full steam ahead, like I have this plan and schedule and I must follow it. But I would just like say that just like find your own way, like don't give up completely. Like I'm saying that, like, okay, like that now I've had like a longer course that I haven't been doing dance classes, but I'm still like, I'm not saying that I will never do dance classes again, or like that, you know, like the people, I know it's very easy to say that, like, okay, my life is so hectic now, I can't. And then you like you said that, like, then when, like, and after something or something that can turn into eternity just quite quickly. Um, so I think that the thing is just like that, find something else, like some other way, like that, not like fully shutting the door, just leave it a little bit ajar and like have a little look there sometimes and like remind yourself that, okay, there's something nice. And then I can go through that door when you feel like it's like when you are in those kind of struggles that you just want to shut the door and give up. That's what I would say. That don't. And then something else, and then like I was talking with Pirita, that then that there's different tools to get like over that, and then like that. I'm also like now trying something else, that I'm trying the kind of writing down things and like the kind of doing those little goals and tasks and just kind of like reading my mind more about like kind of getting back on the dance training. And then I've never done that before, so that'll be another new thing. But like I'm in that point that I'm okay, like that. Yeah, I would want to go back, but I'm not sure how to find the way back, because it feels somehow difficult to kind of just jump straight back in.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying something like another tool that, because like I'm thinking that like, what could I do? Why does it feel so difficult now to kind of get back to that dance? So there's another kind of thing that, okay, I haven't tried that, so why not? And yeah, I think that's the kind of like just like not giving up completely, not shutting the door. Yeah.
Yeah. And even on your challenges, what you have also now faced, what you were also kind of just saying, that there has been a lot happening. It's been still of like, you have been joining our group chats and you've been on doing your little own kind of more in that moment of dancing, and sometimes that's just exactly what the body and mind needs, and a different kind of care. So it's not that you have shut the door, which sometimes it's even more harder, which I try to kind of remind people that every time if we shut that door completely, it's going to be harder to open every time. And it takes more energy every time if you completely lock it and shut it down. It's there, you haven't done anything for that for a while. It's going to demand more energy and more time and more from you to start opening it again. But definitely it's just finding now a new way, which I think that you're also in that part of that stage of, okay, this is something totally different what I am experiencing, and how dance can now help me. And which I find interesting. I find it always super interesting of being in the different stages in life and just noticing how dance can honestly now support me. And more we would do that more and more. We get that trust that, okay, I will find my way. I will find the way that dance will support me the best. But often we just don't allow ourselves to take that step. So we are not allowing ourselves to build that trust of like, yeah, we can find the way how the dance can also support. So I'm truly excited and hoping we find a totally different way for you again, because you have that experience with dance. So letting the dance kind of nurture you forward wherever you are now. We'll definitely find it, no doubt about it.
Yeah. And then it's just kind of like that. For example, for me, it's like I'm quite music driven. So also like the kind of that, okay, I haven't been doing dance classes now, but what do I like? I like listening to music and then just being kind of freestyling to it. Like, okay, I haven't done a dance class in ages, but like, probably today I've been doing some sort of improvised boogie there along the day, just like, because that's the sort of the feel that that comes for me from like dancing, is like reacting to the music and stuff. And I have to say that I really like this, like we on this door metaphor. It's been excellent. Like just like I wasn't planning on it. I don't know who said it first. I maybe like, but I think it works. the
Yeah.
kind of training, dance training metaphor, door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we could add on that door metaphor of like, yeah, if you honestly lock it with the key and you leave it too long time, you're gonna also forget where the key is. So then you need to try to find the key as well, which is sometimes the annoying part when you're, especially like when you know this as well, like when you're traveling and then you go back to home, you start thinking, where did I put those keys? Where did I put it? Where is it in my suitcase? So yeah, definitely. I hope that if that helps to anybody else who's listening to us now as well.
Yeah, I'm quite like I like visualize that. So yeah, because maybe like my door is also a little bit ajar, so I can still hear the music kind of through the crack of the door. So that kind of
Yeah, amazing. Oh, it definitely is a good to end on
the
that.
symbolism.
Well, yes. Well, before we kind of ending for today, if there's any more questions, please feel free to pop the last questions on the chat. But as well, and I've been always kind of giving the last questions for the people who join on my guest. So you have a chance as well of asking me any question that might be in your mind. Do you feel like you have any questions?
My mind's been so blurry these days because of the heat in Finland at the moment.
Yeah.
Like the only you probably listen to. I don't know. I'm just like thinking that like how can you dance or do anything in this heat? Well, it's very kind of not very big, symbolic, grand question. But I was just thinking that like I was doing little woodwork and stuff and just no air conditioning here, so. I don't know. Like that. What's the? I don't know. How do you deal with that? What's the kind of slow-mo dancing or something maybe?
I can definitely see that the heat it affects my body, but I feel like it affects my body in a positive way. Like every time when I'm in a warm country, it's just honestly, I feel so much more better. I feel like my joints, my muscles are so much more relaxed. So in a way, I feel sometimes that I have even more energy. Now it's just been after this COVID, I feel like it's just a little bit knackering me. But I think it's just still after these last drops of it. But I think for me, it affects differently. But I think it's also because I have been dancing so much in a warmer climate that I think, and I believe it so much that if the body is not used to it, it's going to take more to kind of get going with it. But yeah, maybe it needs more, a little bit more softer movement for some people, and that's fine as well. I always just feel like when I'm honestly sweating, I feel like then I'm honestly dancing. So that when it's a really hot and I'm already sweating, I'm like, I don't even need to do much. I'm already doing. Feels like I'm doing a lot. So maybe that's also like my brain is going on that circle. But definitely, I think on the first few days in Senegal, when we went there on residency and it was extremely hot, I felt really exhausted quickly. But then my body was just kind of really quickly adjusting to it. So I just think I should have been born in somehow in a warmer climate, but or maybe it's just being in Finland too long time of experiencing that coldness that now my body is just like, kill me everything, give me everything. But yeah, I would definitely say of remembering to drink enough water.
Yeah, and it's like that you said that you're already warm, and I sometimes think that in a colder climate or like in our house back in Scotland it's quite cold, so I need a lot of like warm up to get myself warm, I went swimming today and that was beautiful, like in the cool water, so that was
That's also the amazing part, if you can kind of do some exercising and then dip in the waters, have a swim or go and like that's amazing for the body as well. But yeah, definitely for people now training in a warmer climate, please drink enough water and keep taking care of the bodies. But yeah, well, if nobody hasn't there any more questions, I just want to thank you, Saara, so much for joining and sharing really openly about your journey. And I hope that whoever is listening to this now is getting some extra motivation and inspiration to get going with their dancing, because end of the day, I think everybody should be dancing.
Also, yeah, don't give up.
Yes, so thank you so much, Saara, and we're going to thank everybody who joined us today on live and listening to this later on. And yeah, we will have next month on a next guest. But yeah, till next time, thank you, everybody.